guys. I will explain my terrible face in a minute, but this is a video post London Pride yesterday because I went and I was a steward volunteer, and this is what happened with us. So I went with my friend Sophia to volunteer for this, and we got up at 5:30 and arrived in London about 7:30 and went straight to go and sign in because we had to sign in around 8:30, 9 o'clock. Got assigned to a wonderful group. I mean, I think our senior steward was amazing, he was lovely, and the rest of our group were also lovely people. There was 3 guys and 2 girls in our group, one of the guys being me. And yeah, so we got assigned Oxford Circus, which is one of the most busiest crossing points for London Pride. So that was exciting to get thrown in at the deep end straight away. So before the actual parade started, literally as they announced the parade starting, protesters rushed us. And they weren't religious protesters, whatever religion it was actually LGBT people protesting Pride because they felt that it should be a protest and not a celebration. Most of the protesters stayed in one place, but unfortunately, as soon as they rushed the gates, we were shouted at to close the gates, so we had to swing the gates open and stop them heading up towards the beginning of where the parade starts. And there was one person, a couple people, but the other person left very quickly, who was very insistent on pushing the gate. And so myself and another couple of stewards and the security had to hold the gates shut whilst we waited for police reinforcements. And honestly, I got so pissed off at this person. They were rude, they said some very not nice things because they didn't believe that we should celebrate our own freedoms and that we weren't able to express our happiness at what freedoms we have, even though, you know, the majority of the parade, excluding the few, you know, many corporations that are there, like, I don't necessarily disagree with their opinions, but I do disagree with how they did it. There are many groups there who had similar opinions to those who rushed us, and they peacefully walked in the parade. And the group was offered, you can go to the back of the parade and join in, but no, they kept protesting and shouting, and a lot of people luckily just blew their whistles and overpowered the sound. This person kept pushing and was saying, they were criticising one of the security guys' tattoos, they were being very rude to the senior steward about his experience, because our senior steward was quite a bit older than that person. The person I assume was in early 20s, mid-20s, and our senior steward was definitely not there. He's been volunteering for 15 years at Pride, and you know, they didn't want a discussion, they just wanted to shout their opinion. And unfortunately there's a place for protesting, and I am all in favour of protesting, but I am not in favour of ruining a lot of people's days out. Pretty much everyone I talked to at Pride, it had been their first ever time attending Pride, and I didn't want it ruined by, you know, protesters. Everyone does so much. Pride's not free, you know. We have to pay for the cleaners, pay for our uniforms, pay for the security, pay for the barriers, pay for the use of land. And honestly, I'm not going to get into this discussion because I genuinely think Pride at the moment, how it is better than no Pride at all. I believe in protesting. I think protesting is fine, peaceful protesting is fine, but I also believe that we should be allowed to celebrate, and part of that celebration includes people protesting whilst they walk. And it's the best way because, you know, it wouldn't have been covered otherwise if we didn't have people paying for coverage. Unfortunately, that's how life is at the moment, and you know, I am very, very against, you know, corporations taking over Pride, but I currently think it's at a moment where it's better to have Pride than to not, and for, you know, if corporations and the military are there, it's better them being with us than against us at this point. So anyway, that's my opinions on that. I was really pissed at these people for interrupting because they didn't actually have a joint agenda, because a lot of them were anti-Trump, anti-Brexit, anti-Theresa May, which again, I agree with most of their points they were saying, but it was not the right way to do it. So they ended up staying, and luckily we managed to get them peacefully on their way. The police were very good and tried not to escalate the situation, which I never thought I'd say really, and they ended up joining the front of the parade. But that's basically what happened at the beginning. The rest of the parade was amazing. Once it started, it was such a good vibe. People were so happy. You know, I'm in awe of some of the people in their costumes. The drag queens were on point. The costumes must have been boiling because, as you can see, I am, you know, we got given Factor 30 sun cream, and unfortunately I am too pale for that to work, so I am quite sunburnt, and it is very painful, but I'll recover, hopefully. Yeah, I'm in awe of some people in their costumes. It was boiling. Everyone did a really good job. Everyone was so lovely. There were people who were a bit rude at the crossings. One guy told us to fucking fuck off, you fuckers, whilst we were trying to actually, we had to make a protective barrier of the stewards around people who weren't able to get through the barriers in time, so they weren't hurt during the parade by any floats, because I can't remember, there was a float coming whilst we did this. And whilst we did that, we had to go around a guy who had his bike, and he was obviously in a bad mood. You know, people get in bad moods. It was hot, it was, you know, he was probably exhausted, and I get that, but there's no reason to be rude to people who are trying to help. But I get that, it was hot. And so, yeah, it was a great parade. It actually, the protesters at the beginning delayed the parade by about 45 minutes. And I have to say that did irk me a little, because we were meant to finish the parade at 3:30. It finished at 6 o'clock. Or later, because myself and Sophia left because we needed food, because we hadn't eaten since, 8 AM, and we'd probably drunk loads of water, but we needed food, which sounds bad, but we had to just go find food. We were both grumpy from lack of food, and, well, actually I was grumpy, not really Sophia. I was just grumpy from lack of food. I was hot, I was bothered. My wisdom teeth were coming through, so they were a pain in the ass. And we went and got food, and then that was fine. But yeah, the actual parade, everyone was lovely. We got a lot of people thanking us, which we weren't expecting, because we volunteered to do this. We wanted to do it because we want to make people happy. We want to make people's lives at Pride good. We want to help as much as we can. Obviously there was a couple times drunk people tried to jump the barrier, and we had to try and stop them, and then people thought we were being horrible to people when actually we were just trying to keep people safe, which was quite funny. Probably the worst things that happened during Pride was that every person who spoke to me who wasn't in our team misgendered me, which is quite hurtful, but I get it. It's just that Pride, you would think that people would be a bit more, you know, if I've got a giant trans flag on my cheek, they might think a bit more before they, anyway, they didn't mean it in any like disrespectful tone. They would just be like, thank you ladies for helping, and I was internally like, I'm not a lady, but I'm not going to, you know, you don't have time to say anything, and also if I say something, I don't want to make their mood a bit lower because they're worried about, you know, it's a complicated thing, but you know, I let it go because I realise it's a fun day, people make mistakes, and you know, I'm not going to let it get to me. It got to me a bit in the end because my emotions were a bit low because I was like, oh, I keep getting misgendered, but honestly, it was great, and I want to volunteer for Pride again if I'm ever around in London in time for it, because I've got uni and stuff. But yeah, it was an amazing day. The organisers were great. It felt amazing, you know, I loved the team I worked in. The security guys were great and really well. It was amazing, lovely, and I've partially lost my voice because I was you know, trying to cheer and clap and make everyone enthusiastic, but yeah, everyone was great and I really enjoyed it, and I'd probably do it again, and I'd recommend volunteering for it if you want to. Just make sure you put more sun cream on than I have, because I'm probably going to, I look like I might have like tribal symbols, but it's just because my flags were here and here, so obviously it didn't burn there. But yeah, so that's it. It's actually a longer video than I thought, but see you guys soon. I'll do a couple months on, you know, I'll do one on what's happened with hormones so far soon, and yeah, thanks for watching, and you know, have a great day. Bye.